Thank you, thank you. Hello, everyone, how you doing? Okay, one more time. Live me up, how you doing? Okay. I love that introduction, thank you so much. Thank you. And you just taught me how to put the mic to my mouth the proper way. This is pretty cool. Well, pretty much, again, my name is Samiyyah Dixon. I'm going to try to be really brief with you guys. I don't want to bore you. You know, I may put some of you guys on the spot. If I see you on your phones, that means I'm boring you. You know, but I'm going to make it really brief. My goal today is to talk about my past to the present, just so you can get a little information about me. So pretty much, let's start. I don't know how much time I have, but I'm very long-winded. So let's begin. Oh, wow. KG from Naughty by Nature. First of all, I'm 30, and I want to make sure, do anybody know who Naughty by Nature was? You guys? You did? Name a song. Ah, not that one. Okay. Well, Hip Hop Parade. Yeah, hey, okay. Well, I was 17 years old. I tried out for a group called Coffee Brown. Was very lost at that point in time. I actually stayed with KG from Naughty by Nature at his house. He was working on a project, and at that time it was Arista Records. And again, 17 years old, clueless to the industry, clueless to the world. I had to learn at that point an album within 2 weeks. No sleep, wasn't really eating, you know, just basically grinding out. It was a great experience. Of course, I didn't stay in the group too long, dealing with politics, which we will talk about later. But, you know, you basically learn a lot. Basically going into age 21, that was my first record deal, if you could move to the next slide. My first record deal, I was signed to a label called Barack Records, which was through Capitol Records. Again, I dealt with a class earlier, and I was shocked that some of the people in the class knew Slum Village. Yeah! Yeah. So I was signed. I basically did a couple of shows with the group Slum Village. You know, Jay Dilla, rest in peace. But I was actually on their project, actually on this album. And I am actually at the end of the song. I wrote a song called Fall in Love. That's actually at the end. So it was pretty cool at this point in time. You know, you get excited because now you're signed. You know, now people are around you, you know, that never been around you. You know how that goes. You blow up and everybody knows you. As soon as you disappear, nobody knows you, you know. I was like a superstar in my own hometown at this point in time. So, but again, at that point, not still having knowledge. Again, at the end of this seminar, my goal is to teach you guys about business. Business really runs this industry. Talent is a beautiful thing, but talent to me is 10% out of 100 in my opinion. So, let's move on. So at that point in time, you know, again, I'm on top. I'm excited. I'm now bougie. People saying hello, you know, I'm doing the American wave, like, yeah, you guys aren't on my level. I started basically performing, and at that time, just enjoying myself. But Capitol Records wound up dropping me at 23 years old. You know, and again, like I said, all the people that were around me didn't know me anymore. But I continued to pursue my career. And basically, that just shows the people who I, you know, opened up for and performed with, which again was Akon, Nelly, and Busta Rhymes, which was pretty cool. So basically, time goes on. At that point in time, I think I was 25 years old, and I was getting told that I was getting too old for the industry, which was kind of scaring me at that time, which I like to explain at this point in time, never give up, because the industry changes so much. And at that point in time, people were looking for younger people. And if I ran into a 25-year-old right now, that wouldn't be really old to me. You know, but again, this was a couple years ago, because I'm not going to tell you guys my age. But again, it was around that time where people were told that, you know, 25 years old was getting too old to be an artist. So I started focusing on becoming a songwriter. By the time I was 26, I moved into the songwriting. So move on. So, moving to Atlanta, Georgia, the first label I was able to get with was with USHER. At this point in time, still not really knowing the business, but again, was excited to be around USHER. And I'm not saying that any kind of way. You know, I know I did just put my fingers up, so, you know, you guys, you know, no point intended. But I wind up landing a first placement on his group. He had a group called One Chance. Still not knowing the business, but I was getting more into understanding from split sheets to percentages to royalties to understanding that, oh, I can get a writer's fee up front and all these different things that I had no idea about. But again, this is really my first big experience in learning how you could literally be no one day and just the most popular kid on the block the next day. I mean, I had so many different phone calls where I had people calling my phone saying, I want to manage you. I mean, people who managed Mary J. Blige got my phone number. I'm like, where did you come from? How did you know me? You know, it happened so quick because now everybody wants to put their hands into a pot that they're thinking is really about to blow, pretty much. But it was pretty cool working with USHER, you know. The team was definitely pretty cool. I was more excited about this first placement because Clive Davis himself picked it. Again, I was really not popular at this point in time as a songwriter, where a lot of the popular songwriters were like, well, who is this little girl named Samiyyah that's getting the single on the group? You know, I don't know if you guys really research, but if everybody's into music, make sure that you're definitely researching, learning behind the scenes. People in front of the scenes are okay, but behind the scenes is basically who you want to meet. And at that time, it was a producer, popular songwriter named Sean Garrett. You had Brian Michael Cox. You had so many different people who were on this album. And they're like, okay, this little girl right here is getting the first placement. And again, I'm excited because I'm like, wow, Clive Davis picked it himself. So I think I'm probably at the point I can go right through his door and I knock on his door like, okay, you like my music, so we should work, you know? But things happened with that the label pushed this single so much, it didn't really go too far, but it was a great experience and I did get paid. That's always fun, right? You don't like, yeah. Thank you, one person like money. Nobody else like money? Okay. All right, so pretty much next slide. Okay, time goes on. Nothing is really moving with USHER's team. I meet up with T.I. Y'all know who he is? Did you say no? Yeah, you say I'll put you on the spot? Yeah. I got with T.I. from Grand Hustle. His situation was pretty cool. He was very supportive of me. I can honestly say that. He had me working every day in the studio, just every day, you know, and he gave me the opportunity to work with all of his artists that was signed to his label, which was pretty cool. And it was new for me because I didn't really wasn't into rap. But it was an experience. I can honestly say that, and I wound up landing on every person that was signed to him. Young Dro, Big Country King. I maybe named some names you guys don't even know. Never heard of them? Sometimes maybe in the wintertime upstairs. No, okay, okay. So that was a pretty experience. At this time, I'm now moving more into my business mode, but now I am basically a songwriter. So. Okay. Well, since T.I. was signed to Atlantic Records, when you start establishing relationships, which is the key, again, you have to have two things. You're going to have to have money or relationships. It's either or. Period. So I started establishing relationships with Atlantic Records, and of course, Trey Songz was signed to Atlantic Records as well. Do you guys know Trey Songz? Sometimes, maybe. Yeah, I heard the women. Yup. Okay, cool. So this actually started changing around. I wasn't trying to be an artist anymore at this time, but since I knew Trey and I was working on some songs with him, I decided to go on tour with him. Do we have any singers in the building? Oh, a couple of singers, okay, okay. I'm curious, show of hands to the singers. I'm just curious. Songwriters? Okay, so I see a lot of singers who write their music as well. Is that what I just seen? You know you guys can talk, you know. Okay, thank you. Okay, so decided to go on tour with him. I sung backup for him for 2 years. I did the 106 in Park tour. We did the tour with Jay-Z. It was very interesting. I was the only girl on tour, you know. I'm such a woman power girl. I don't diss guys, but I'm all about like the womanhood. Like that's just me. And yeah, you know, women. No, look at the guys. Okay, yeah, whatever. So I was the only girl on the tour bus, so of course that was a great experience. But I would definitely say I enjoyed it. You know, different city each day. And just learning that. And from being a background singer, did you lose me? Okay, I'm here. From being a background singer, again, I was still writing songs for artists, Jaheim Day 26, but I decided to tour and do other things. Especially nowadays, am I too loud in my mic? Because it's leaving me. Hello? Okay, it's there, thank you. Am I too loud? Is that what's happening? No? Sometimes, maybe? Okay, tell me something. I was trying to speak loud. You know, what was that? Okay, so yeah, on tour, I decided to do more things. So it was pretty cool. And then from there, next slide, I decided to start touring with other people. This is actually my mentor. Again, I used to be a singer. I could really sing my butt off. Like I'm like really beastie and that. And the reason why I am saying that is because I want all of you to understand, definitely find your passion and go hard on it. I understand that you could probably write, you can sing, you can juggle oranges. I get it. But let me explain, learn one passion and stick with it. You have to be great at one thing at least. Give me 100% at one thing before you start going all over the place. You have to be good at least one thing, really, really good at it to get you in the door. So again, going on tour with, her name is Kim Burrell. She's a gospel singer, and I'm a great singer. You know, they kind of compare me to the late and great, you know, Whitney Houston. No laughs. This is true. You know, so to go on tour with her was really great for me because I looked up to this woman. And after touring with her, I actually didn't want to sing anymore. She gave me just different type of wisdom. There I go. I guess I must be loud again. She gave me different type of wisdom where I just didn't want to do anymore. You know, this is probably one of my last shows. You ever heard of the comedian Monique? Are you like her? Have you seen her since she lost all that weight? Have you seen her? Oh, she looks pretty good. You know, I bet she's arrogant now. You know, but again, she was so cool. She was so cool. And I just started getting around more older women. One thing about I've always had an old soul. You know, a lot of times people, you know, I kind of grew up a little bit late because I was always into my music. I've been singing since 9 years old. This wasn't overnight. I just didn't start this. You know, again, we'll get into further information about my artist development company and so on, where I meet people. Don't like me. Oh, is it working? Hello? Okay. See, that's that Whitney Houston. No. So anyway, I started, you know, dealing with older women. Like I said, I've always looked up to older people because, again, they had more wisdom. I was never the one who wanted to hang out. I'm not talking about don't party, enjoy yourself, you know, and definitely embrace your youth. It's just, again, certain things that people my age wanted to do, I never really cared to do. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I'm an eyeball and I'm weird and I'm proud of it. I never really understood a lot of things that normal people want to do. At an early age, I knew I was not gonna be typical and the same, and that's fine. You know, so definitely embrace being different because, to be honest, the world is too simple and the same to me now. Be different, and it may take time. It may take time for people to appreciate you being different. But, you know, that's the struggle that you guys have to take on. Don't piss me off. Okay, so at this point in time, I'm like, you know what? I think I like the business side of things. And I started meeting people. I know if you heard of Russell Simmons. Yeah, right? Do you know Kevin Liles? Have you ever heard of him? Right, yeah, so, you know, people know people on TV. I know him. No, I don't know him. Kevin Liles is actually someone very important in the industry as well. To my knowledge, I don't want to get his title wrong, but he used to run Atlantic Records for a little while. He's actually Trey Songz's manager. But anyway, at this point in time, I started learning from CEOs and realizing, wow, being on the business side is so different from talent, like literally night and day. You know, and that's what I wanted to get more into. You know, I have passion. I love to sing. I love to write, but I love to make money. Woohoo! Okay. So at that point in time, I opened up, again, I live in Atlanta, Georgia now. Like I said, I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I decided to open up an artist development company in Atlanta, Georgia. And I thought it was going to be a lot of competition because, of course, I mean, I don't know if you guys travel, but I know everywhere you look, someone is a writer, someone is a producer, someone is a singer. Everybody, you know, that's what you're around. But I found out how many people really wanted to be a part of things and learn how to be a better singer and songwriter and things like that. So basically, my company is called Left Field Entertainment. I wanted to come up with that name because I'm like, again, I like to be against the odds. Everybody go right, I want to go left. That's just who I've always been. If you tell me the color is red, I'm like, nah, it's blue. That's just who I've always been. And I'm not saying it's always been a good thing because, you know, sometimes you have to learn how to be a chameleon. And I was a fireball for a long time. So at that point in time, I opened up my artist development company. I started sponsoring celebrities where I sponsored artists like Bobby V and Lil Wayne, video they did. I don't know if y'all watch reality show TV because it seems like that's all that comes on TV at this point in time. But I sponsored a girl named Rashida from Love and Hip Hop. You ever heard of that show? Maybe sometimes. Yeah, you don't watch it. You shouldn't. It's a bunch of garbage. So, and then I started working with different people. So let's see. Okay. So now let's talk about to the point where I am right now. I develop artists. What does that mean? I teach artists how I vocal train. I teach them vocal arrangement. I get so many people that come to me like, check out my music, listen to it. And a lot of times they think it's great because they're coming from just their peers or their mother going, baby, you sound so good. You know, you're coming from people not necessarily with the ear in the industry telling you what sounds good and what's not. You know, probably you done played this music around all your friends and they're like, yeah, you're going to make it. You know, you're like, no, it's garbage. And I'm saying that to say, this is what I teach. Again, I've been here where I thought my music was great and I was so far away from the quality that people were looking for. And again, vocal arrangement, making sure you have the right ear to pick the right track. Make sure that it's quality, because when you're dealing with A&Rs and people at this label, they're not really taking out the time anymore saying, well, maybe fix that and maybe do this and kind of separate it. A song is all together. If they say that this song is not hot, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to really explain to you what it could have been. And it could have been something separate. You could have had nice lyrics, but the track was horrible. The track could have been great, but your melody is okay. So many different things that play a role. Lyrics, melody, arrangement, track. So this is what I teach to make sure that everybody is being put together the correct way. I just took on 4 new clients in Atlanta, and this one client just came to me, and she's like, this is one of my best songs. And I laughed to myself because I remember being in her position. Her hook, it's okay to say hook. You guys know what hook means, right? I didn't know, chorus, sound like the verse. It was no repetitiveness to it. It was just words and words and words and words. And I'm listening to the song and I'm saying, okay, when are we going to get to the hook? She was like, oh, that was the hook. I'm like, okay, I didn't hear anything special. It's like another verse. You have to make sure even the format is put together. And there's times where you may have to go back and listen to the song and make sure it's, it's together. Listen to what's out on the radio to a certain extent. You may want to grab what's being played on the radio because obviously it's being played on the radio for a reason, but don't take all of it. Still keep you inside of this whole process. So again, as far as developing artists, that's kind of pretty much what I do. I do stage presence. You have to have confidence. That's what's very important. I worked with people like DJ Kelly and Jazzy Faye, and one thing I've learned from them, I've been in studios with them where the track could be great, but the way they make you feel about it, like they make you bob your head. And if you're not bobbing your head, you're just going to be the eyeball in the studio. I know you've seen people bob their head when it's just, and you're just looking at them and you're like, oh, yeah, I like it. They kind of make you want to bob your head with it because it's a confidence. And sometimes you really have to show that you believe in your product, even if you don't. The saying, fake it till you make it a little bit to a certain extent. Not too much, where you're buying a bunch of followers on Instagram and, you're like, I'm popular. I got 40,000 following me. You're like, I never heard of you ever. You know what I'm saying? Because now everything is based off of facade and what you're trying to be. Still, take out the time to learn to actually work hard and take the steps to do it. You know what I'm saying? So songwriting, I love my songwriting classes because, again, that's what I still do right now, and it's so much fun to come up with stuff. Actually, I'm going to put my client on the spot. I brought my client out here with me from Atlanta. He's doing the slides. Everybody say, hey, Todd. Wow. I heard a little harmony. But anyway, I brought him, but he'll tell you right now I'm working on some joints with USHER, and just the process, I've gotten him on that project, and I'm not a person who sells dreams. I'm a person who really tell my clients, this is what you need to do. I'm going to be there for you, whatever you need from me, from connections and so on, but I'm going to make sure you're on point first. Let's not be too excited just to jump out there, because first impression is last impression. The industry isn't going anywhere. And if you do miss an opportunity, it wasn't your opportunity to begin with. You have to be patient and make sure you're getting yourself together, your brand together. Make sure you sound good enough to be heard. Because I can put you in front of a bunch of famous people who may have situations for you, but if you're not ready, you can't go back to him again because his last time he seen you he wasn't hot. So make sure you're ready. That's very important. I'm like a mentor now, as you can tell. I mean, obviously, I actually volunteer I've been volunteering at this foster care home for 2 years. Again, my mission in life is changing at this point in time. I'm 30, and I've been in this industry since 9 years old. And I'm just not at the point to give back to people, and I'm trying to teach people just different trades. Again, the foundation of this industry stays the same, but I'm telling you, the industry changes sometimes every second. And that's because people are getting fired. You may have a connection that you're like, okay, I got this number a year ago. It may not even work by the time you call it again. It's a revolving door. Industry doesn't really add, it replaces. I can literally come in this room right now and pick something that I'm looking for. That I'm not saying that you don't have the talent. It's something I'm looking for. I've been on video sets, the list goes on, where you'll see all these beautiful women, but they literally came out just to find a redhead. That's what they wanted. So don't be scared of rejection, because it does not mean you're not good enough. It just depends on what that person is looking for at that point in time. So yeah, I do community work, I get my hands dirty a little bit. Is that it? I was speeding it. What's my... I'll still keep talking. Okay. Yeah, I'm proud of myself. I'm sorry? Okay, no, I don't need that, sweetheart. Any questions? Did I bore you guys? For real? Did give it to me again?
Test.
Whatever. Okay. Any questions? How does the questions work? Oh, y'all just talk, not from the mic. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I don't know how the questions work. If it was something for people to hear. Okay.
Hi. Hello.
See, he don't like you either.
Hello.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Shay Briggs, and
What's your name?
Shay
That's
Briggs.
pretty.
I'm a rapper and a singer, mostly a rapper though.
Okay.
And I just wanted to know because you expressed that you are a very pro-woman,
Yes,
as
I
am
am.
I. And I just wanted to know if being a woman in the industry can you talk about your experience with that maybe hindering or helping you at all in any instances? Because sometimes I feel like it's a disadvantage for me, but also sometimes I feel like I use it to my advantage because I'm often the only girl, so I automatically stand out.
Honey, no mess with you. I talk about this all the time, again, like I said, and I'm pro-women, but come on, fellas, I'm not saying I'm against you guys. It's just, I can teach more women because I think that's who I am, you know? As a woman in this industry, I'm not trying to whine and act like, okay, baby, the women, but I've had a hard time. I can honestly say that. I always tell my clients, a woman would get in the door quicker, but not necessarily for the right reasons. I'm gonna be honest, I fought all my life. Trying to keep it professional and explaining that I'm here to make money just like the next man. You know, so that's why it goes back to when I was saying if you missed the opportunity, it wasn't yours to begin with. You don't want it anyway. Because if you're going in the situation saying, hey, I can sing, I do this, I rap, and you find them playing around a little bit, and you may have to leave a big situation. It may be something that you were like, wow, this person could really get me on. Maybe not. You only need one person anyway. It's not like you need 100 people to get you on. It's going to just be that one person. You only need is one. One, you don't need several. Majority of people that you're going to meet, it's just going to be for experience. But it's going to be one. Because the one who really got me on, he died of cancer in 2006. I've had managers since him, and it has never been the same. So I hope I answered your question. But woman power, you know. I walk around in these streets. No, I'm sorry. Any other questions? Yes. I see you, sweetie. Yeah, uh-huh.
I don't have a question.
Ooh, love that voice.
So yeah, obviously when you're trying to like promote yourself commercially as a songwriter, there's this tough balance between like making stuff that is artistically expressive of your own experience and also something that you have to kind of work on writing in a way that's going to appeal to a certain crowd or a lot of people. So how do you balance that? Like, what's your motivation for writing? Is it like, do you base it off of what people want to hear, or is there like, does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. As a songwriter only or artistry? Because they live
As a songwriter.
As a songwriter, you have no more feelings. Again, I was an artist. When I was an artist, I'm not gonna lie, I was very spoiled. When I became a songwriter, my feelings disappeared. The emotion wasn't really there because at this point in time, I'm writing more general. You know, usually when you're an artist, you know, majority of the time, an artist is gonna write from what they're going through. You know, like I just broke up yesterday. Ooh, pain. I'm about to rap about pain. You know, it's you know what I'm saying? As a songwriter, you're like, okay, what needs to be heard? What needs to be written? And like, again, I've written songs for so many different artists where I wasn't going through it, but I knew what the world would view it.
Yeah.
So I will always just say, like in so many words, when I sit down artists for the first time I met, and I'm like, okay, what are you going through? Let's talk about that and things like that. And they may give me something general, but I'll add to it just to make it more, they'll give me something more private. I'll add more, general, you know, information
Generic.
to it, absolutely. So everybody can relate and go, okay, we get you. Like I wrote a song one time and I don't have kids, but I knew if I talked about a kid in this song, you know, I'll sit back and, you know, I'm reaching a lot of people that have kids, you know, so yeah. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Yes, sir. Was you raising your hand?
Yo,
I'm sorry, I was looking at you.
I got the mic over here. Let me ask a question right